Welcome back to yet another episode of Camera Moves Explained, where I go over unique camera moves that you're most likely not going to find in any filmmaking textbook. These aren't your typical pans and dollies. These are unique camera moves that have been used with specific purposes in mind for specific metaphorical reasons. Number 21, the Rolling Reframe. In the movie Punch Drunk Love, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, we see Adam Sandler's character in his apartment talking on an adult hotline. The camera is focused on him sitting in his chair when all of a sudden it just decides to pan to the left. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Kevin, you said at the beginning of this video that there weren't just going to be any typical pans. Well, my friend, this isn't just a pan. This is a pan with a purpose. Because typically when you see a camera pan, it is to show something, not nothing. But that's exactly what we see here. The camera pans over to empty space, seemingly unmotivated by anything that's happening on screen. The point of the shot might be the empty space. It is drawing attention to the fact that Adam's character is lonely. But I do have to say the tricky thing with metaphors is that there might be an infinite number of interpretations that you can apply to this. The thing you have to remember is that we are pattern-seeking creatures that can draw connections between many concepts and words and make them fit our preferred interpretation for what is going on. Let me know in the comments what you think this camera move means and if you think it's a good one. Number 22, the Flashback Flyby. Next we have what I like to call the Flashback Flyby, and this move I found in the movie Lady Snowblood, and it's when Lady Snowblood is talking to this man as he starts yapping about something that happened in the past in 1873. And then the director decides to basically go to a flashback, or more like a narrative retelling of what happened in 1873. But instead of just cutting to that narrative retelling, he pans the camera to the right and zooms past Lady Snowblood. The camera then eventually cuts to a graphic retelling. I think the metaphor behind this camera move is basically looking past someone, looking behind them or into the past. And this is a camera move I see a lot in films. Most recently I saw it in the movie Wicked in the beginning, where Glinda is about to tell the story of her and Elphaba's friendship. The camera really zooms past her here, and this is one of the most extreme examples I've seen. So I think it's true to say that for some reason our minds associate this camera move with a looking into the past type of metaphor. To achieve this, you just need a good zoom lens that doesn't stutter when you zoom it. Number 23, the bowling ball. How in the world did the Coen brothers find a camera small enough to fit inside the hole of a bowling ball? In the movie The Big Lebowski, we see this shot, which comes from the perspective of a bowling ball as it is rolling down the lane. It looks like the camera is literally inside of the bowling ball. Well, you'll be disappointed to know that they didn't actually find a camera small enough to fit inside the hole of a bowling ball. Here's the DP, Roger Deakins, explaining how they did it.
We had the camera on a spit, like literally, a revolving spit on a dolly. So somebody's pushing the dolly, the camera's over that, and then somebody's revolving the spit. So it is very simple, really.
Now let me know in the comments what other type of scene you would use this camera move for, because it's hard for me to come up with another example in my mind besides bowling. Maybe you could use it in a biopic about Jack and Jill tumbling down the hill or something. I don't know, let me know your ideas. Number 24, the sneaky stranger shot. In this scene we see the dude, Donnie, and Walter sitting at a counter. When the dude pisses off Walter about saying he doesn't care about the bowling tournament, Donnie and Walter leave, and then the camera starts to focus solely on the dude. It dollies forward into a single shot, and this puts the audience in the mindset of the dude who is really focusing on his own thoughts. This provides an opportunity for the stranger to sit right next to him without him knowing, and without the audience knowing, because as the camera pulls back, we see that the stranger is indeed sitting next to him, unbeknownst to the dude. I think this camera move is great because it does two things. First, it metaphorically puts the audience in the mindset of the main character because it is representing how he is focused on what he is thinking about and not concerned about the world around him. But it is also just a practical way to sneakily put someone in a shot if you want to be sneaky. Number 25, the Stutter Snap. This next camera move is not really a camera move at all, but it mimics one. If you guys want to show that your character is focusing on something on screen, or just draw attention to an object or person, and you don't want to use a more in-your-face snap style zoom, then you can do this technique that I found in Bones and All, which is basically just 3 frames edited together with each frame getting closer to the subject. This zoom is more disjointed than a regular zoom, but because of that, I think it gives a more creepy, off-putting kind of vibe. I also think it's a little less goofy than your humorous snap zoom. One thing I also find cool about this is that you don't actually have to change the focal length of your lens. You can keep the same focal length and then just move the camera closer each time. Thank you for watching. Please let me know your favorite camera move that I talked about in the comments below, and subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time.